Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this first episode of the 1 Million Project. And today we will talk about Vision 1. Vision 1 is basically my vision for the 1 Million Project to become financially free. If you will, it's the plan within the project to actually execute this vision. And now, as the name says, it's quite simple. Vision 1 is about finding one winning trade per week to maximize the profits. I will get to the exact risk amount and anything else in a next episode when I talk about risk. But today is just about Vision 1 to give you a broad overview. And I would say, let's just dive in. Now, Vision 1 basically is 8 years in the making, like this project. And I will execute on all this knowledge that I've gained in the last 7 to 8 years doing trading part-time. And I say part-time because obviously I had a life and I was interested in trading, but I've learned so many things. I've been around before retail prop firms. I've been around before even social media when it all started, and I basically saw all this noise, all these gurus, and wasting time. I've tried every indicator out there. I've tried so many strategies in the hundreds, and obviously this is nothing to brag about, but it's the honest truth. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because this vision and this project will be about transparency and honesty, which is very rare in this industry. And I have nothing to lose in being honest, while I could lose everything if I would lie, like most people do on here. And I intend to, uh, be different in a different way. And this project is about transparency and showing how hard it is to actually make it. Like, there will be countless setbacks, um, and yeah, it is very important to show uh, along the way to people who just start how hard it is, what they should do, what they should not do, and you need some source that you can trust. And to be honest, I never had any source to trust. Um, and this is why it took me a long, long time to get here. It's something I am proud of now, but I'm very angry that it took me so long because this industry is so fucked up. Now, another thing to mention is the why. I've talked about this in the intro, but I want to give you another why. And another why is, in most jobs and professions, you will either make a average amount or even below average, and you need to work 2 jobs or more, or you have a rather good job which will pay you well. But for most people, it won't pay you this well to get to the point where you can just stop working. And why is that? Because the system is kind of made to keep you in the job, not to make you financially free, because that's your job. And to realize this, just think about how long in today's world you have to work just to get to retirement. So, for example, in Germany, in a few years, it could well be that you have to work until you are 70. Now, just think about this. And for most people, they don't even work a job uh, which they love. They just, you know, work a job to pay the bills, and which is kind of okay to them on average. But most people don't actually love their job. And that's a shame because you only have one life and you basically get used by somebody else um, for their own benefit. And most people don't actually realize it. And that's what people call the matrix. So you should put a lot of energy not into work, but actually into thinking, how can you make it out of this? And now this will lead to several things. Well, first of all, most people won't understand you. In fact, they will laugh at you, they will even fight you because they are part of this system which kind of provides for them. So they will actually support the system and defend the system while you are the round peg in a square hole which yeah, tries to break free. And so you should definitely be on the other side, and you should definitely be fine to go against the masses, because the masses are just running and working and doing all these things without ever, realizing um, what gets taken from them. And this is all their time and freedom. And now they make you think, because humans are kind of wired that way, that we think, well, the masses must be right, and it only can be wrong what I'm doing alone. But this is wrong, because it's it's kind of a dark philosophy to wire people that way for the benefit of the few. But that's the sad reality of today's world and of capitalism and all these things. And the sooner you realize this, the sooner you have the chance to break free. Now, you don't have to. You can live this life and be happy. For some people, that's the right thing. They are happy with their job. They don't want more responsibility. They don't want more stress. And that's completely fine, because the world needs all kinds of people. But on average, statistically, most people are not happy, and they are wasting their time and life. And this is my vision, because I am one of them, to break free. So, vision one. Vision one is a way out, and it's completely free. It only takes purpose and hard work to make it. And to make it short, let me explain what Vision 1 is. I've initially said it's finding one trade a week to get financially free, one trade a week to compound the profits. And this will be done on several accounts for several risk profiles, which I will explain detailed in another video. And it will be done swing trading, Because from the last 7 to 8 years of my experience, I have never seen one scalper that actually made it. They all claim to make it, but I've never seen one who kept the profits, who actually, you know, made the big money scalping. Yes, here and there are some traders who make a big amount. Might that be on a prop account or private, but most of them end in blowing the account or basically withdrawing this amount and then blowing another account. It just doesn't add up. And the statistics support this. And yes, obviously, we should um, orientate ourselves what the big boys do, what institutions do, and they all swing trade with big positions. Yes, they also day trade, but do you think an institution trades on a 1 minute time frame? No, they don't. And yes, it's true they have to trade differently because of their um, sheer volume and amounts of trading. Yes, it's true, and we could potentially trade differently, but it makes no sense to trade differently because institutions run this game, central banks run this game. So all we have to do is follow them, and like where is the sense? Like how does it make sense to try to do it differently and outsmart them with no capital at all? Um, yeah, and trying to act like you have invented this game and you are better. It doesn't make sense. You have to realize in this vision, who are you and how does this work? And this is what One Vision in the 1 Million Project is about. It's about realizing you are a small retail trader. It doesn't matter if you start with $100 or 1 million. Even with 1 million, you are a retail trader and you're small. Just realize that. So people cannot say, yeah, I have a lot of money, I'm a big one. No, you're not. Unless you're a son of a billionaire, um, you're not. And even then, with 10 million or 50 million, you would be still retail. So this is the first thing to realize, because this vision is about transparency and reality. A vision includes a dream, but you cannot live in a bubble to make this happen. So you have to orientate yourself um, on the reality. And reality is you are a retail trader. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, how do you need to trade? Well, obviously, there are many different ways. And since the inception of trading or online trading, people people think they have found the holy grail, which is laughable. And yes, it's true, there's not only one strategy. I mean, institutions basically use many strategies and they trade differently. So for us, it's many more opportunities how we could trade. But nevertheless, there are certain dynamics and certain rules in the markets which you have to respect, um, and which you need to include in your strategy. Otherwise, it just doesn't make any sense, because then again, you would go against institutions. So you would basically break the rules of the game, and guess what? You will lose. And if you don't believe me, well, just try it, have a go, blow your accounts, or make some money, be happy, and yeah, lose it all in the next weeks, days, months, whatever. I've been there, I've done that, and you can either learn from my experience or do your own thing and experience uh, these things on your own. It doesn't make it less true. And without getting too philosophical now, there's certain dynamics in trading which you have to understand and implement in your trading. So for example, you cannot expect, and I will make another episode on this too, you cannot expect a 10 times amount, let's say, of pips per day just because you want it. Well, the market averages on certain daily ranges and pips. And this goes for weeks, and this goes for months, and even years. And this depends on a pair, on the asset. And this is just a basic dynamic which you cannot change. You can just follow. And this is just one example. There are many more. Another thing is time. You cannot expect from the market a crazy return just because you want it. Well, time is relative. The market does what it does in a certain time period, and that could be different on news days when there's in Forex a day where there are no big news announcements or even a bank holiday. Then guess what? The market won't be very volatile and won't move. And these are just basic rules that we have to understand and implement in this vision. Now, another thing which I just want to talk a bit about in this video and more in another video too is expectations. Now, this vision is about realistic expectations. Why? Because in the end we want to succeed. We want to make it. And the problem in this industry, as in many other too, but especially in this one, is not only false information and scams, it is also very wrong expectations. And guess what? A lot of this industry, even trading itself, is based on emotions. And a lot of this industry is based on wrong expectations. Like so many brokers make money through commissions. And they make so much because people lose all of their money, or most of it, because they have wrong expectations. And as trading is a zero-sum game, as they say, where there's a loser, there's a winner. And now ask yourself before before you lose, who actually profits off of your losses and why? Because you will definitely lose. Even if you win, you lose. Now get that in your head and listen to this again. Even if you win, you will lose. Because you can win in the long run, but you will definitely lose in some short term, in some short run. And so who profits off of this? Well, for the most part, it's the LPs, it's the liquidity providers in the markets, which is mostly big institutions. So they profit because on average most retail traders lose. And retail traders only are 5 to 10%, while 10% being very optimistic, it's more around 5% in the markets, and the rest is between institutions. So basically institutions fighting institutions and playing dirty games. And now imagine if we are so irrelevant and they are fighting themselves very dirty. Now ask yourselves, what are they doing to us? And so brokers and liquidity providers are playing such a dirty game. They are manipulating the markets every single day, every single hour. And that goes for every pair. They're playing dirty tricks. Just look it up. big institutions getting fined each month, a different one, for manipulating the markets. They even had chat groups, where these bank traders were in WhatsApp and other groups, and basically illegally talked to each other and manipulated the market and played in their own hands with billions. And this is all client money, obviously. So, yeah, it's a dirty game, and we have to make the best out of it. And there are many, many more things that you have to be aware of. For example, what does it even cost to place a trade, like spread, slippage, and all these things that can occur in a live A-book market. And yeah, this all has to be considered in your routine, in your trading, and it takes a little bit of experience to get there. Now, to make this video short, Vision 1 is about success, and it's about reality, and there's some truths, and one of them is it's much harder to deprogram yourself of bad habits than to learn a new habit. And this is the first thing that most of us have to do, me included, because we have all learned very wrong habits because we thought it's true. We wanted it to be true, but it just isn't. And yeah, we don't have the advantages that the institutions have. So we already from the start are disadvantaged. And what Vision 1 is about, turning these around to your advantage. Sorry, and this means that you obviously you need that information. You need to break it down. You need to make it very simple. You need to focus. You need to have yourself under control, and you have to follow the institutions and be very patient, and then and only then you can make it. Now there are different ways, different strategies to this. I will show you my own. This is the 1 million project. It has been a very fun ride. Has been a very rough time the last few years, but nevertheless, to give up is no option. And yeah, it's no option to work half or more of your life to then, I don't know, maybe if you're lucky, have the last few years that you can enjoy. That is not life. Life is much bigger than this, and life is much more fun than this. And one last thing that I want to give to you is be a fucking rebel, man. Like, sorry, like, don't stick to their rules and don't think that this is the life that you have to live. I mean, your parents lived it. You can be proud if you studied, if you have a good job, whatever. No. I mean, this is good for most people and it could be good for you, but you can do better. And, you know, I'm sometimes I am against all this mindset stuff and motivation because in reality you just have to do it. But sometimes it's very nice to see people and get inspired by others which show you a different perspective. And this is what Vision 1 is also about. Like a different perspective showing you can do it differently. Like life is much broader than this, and all you have to do is explore it and try. I mean, it's not bad to fail. It's bad to stick to the rules which are designed to keep you in this fucking system. And There is no way of getting out. And the funny thing is, people think, all right, if they get a raise, if they get a different job, now they made it. No. For most people, that's not true. No, you didn't. Because there are people who make 100, 1,000, 10,000 times what you are doing in a year. And, you know, sky's the limit. Now, obviously, this vision is not about accumulating unlimited amounts of money. No, because that won't make you happy. It's also about happiness and fulfillment. And there are limits. But obviously, in today's world, you need some money. And you need even more money than 30, 40 years ago. And this vision is about getting financially free, getting independent, because I don't want a boss telling me what I have to do. I don't want that slave mindset. I don't want to be a slave working for someone else's house or car or vacation. No. And then also, governments around the world are increasingly in the Western world becoming more, um, you know, authoritarian, and it might sound funny, but it's not. They increasingly collect more data. They collect more and more taxes. Here in Germany, you already, you know, pretty quickly have to give half of your money, even more, away to the government, and they are doing stupid shit with your money, and it doesn't make any sense from a logical standpoint. It could be handled very differently, but people just accept it. And this vision is also about being mindful, like questioning all these things and then finding a solution for yourself. Yeah, and the more critical you get, the more free you can potentially become. And I hope that this opens some eyes if it hasn't already. And yeah, I wish you the best of luck. And I'm very looking forward to this. I'm really happy about it. It will be hard, don't get me wrong. It will not be easy to fulfill this project, but I'm so happy that I can share this with you. It's a blog, and it will be open and transparent. And yeah, I wish that if this thing here builds a community, that we will be a team. I don't want this community to be full of hate like all of this industry is. Um, Please don't. Like, let's help each other. Let's be open and transparent. And I'm very looking forward to this. And one last thing, it is very hard to be honest and transparent, because that also means that you show your weaknesses. And in my case, I have some big weaknesses for trading, which are counterproductive, and I'm working on these, and I will talk about these in another video. And it's very important for growth that you talk about this, that you're being honest with yourself, and that you don't care what other people say and think. And this might be the hardest part about this project, because in all honesty, there's nobody supporting this in my circle other than maybe two people. And even they sometimes said to me, like, why are you doing this? It doesn't even make sense, blah, blah, blah. Well, you have to have this vision and confidence and work ethic and discipline and focus and all these things in order to make it, and to prove them wrong, and to show them that there's more which you can do. You have to be a leader of your circle, of this vision, of your system in order to make it work. And this is pretty hard depending on your personality and where you come from. In my case, I have not been born in a family full of leaders. Like, no one in my family has a big company. Like, no one um, has been in a role where they, were a boss, a leader all the time. Um, and so you have to be that yourself. And it can be hard. It will be hard for most people. For some people, it will be easier, but nevertheless, it will challenge you all the time. And we are in this together. And I will share with you all of my experiences. I've paid a lot of time of my life and money to get here. And yeah, there's no place for hate. And if you are hating, you're just a dumb fuck. And I don't know, there's no place in trading in this community and in the world for you. And you're just a loser because the ones who hate didn't realize what's important. And so I will also try to never pick on anyone in this industry, even if it's hard, because I see many scams and bullshit on the internet. But if I would start, it would never end because it just goes on and on. It's just what this industry is. I just want you to be aware of it. And yes, I appreciate it when someone helped me along the way, and I want to give it back to you for free. I hope you appreciate it too. And yeah, have a good one. See you in the next episode, and much love. This will be great.